The big debate today is the debate around sales calls versus selling in the DMs. Most normal people, when you sell to consumers, they're not that way inclined. That's why they go for the salary option. That's why they like to take jobs, because it's safe and they don't see expenses in the same way as we do. So it's not something to boast about. So when I say 89% close rates, because I was doing the calls, so a lot of people do need to have their hand held when you're walking them through a sale. And I think that makes you sound robotic, it makes you sound inhumane, it doesn't make you sound like you're having an authentic, genuine conversation with someone. The worst thing in the world is scripts. And you can't do that on DMs, right? You literally just can't. Think of everyone you look up to. How do you know you even look up to them? Because you've never met them. Most people you look up to, you've never met. Think about superstars in sport, anything. You've never met these guys, you look up to them, right? Why? Alright guys, welcome back to another video with Work-Life Unbalanced. Now, this channel is all about scaling and growing an online service business, regardless if you're coaching, consultancy, agency owner, it does not matter, because the funnel for getting clients is all the same if you advertise on social media. So, the big debate today, and I think it's because a lot of people are just being very lazy, they want to build the life they want, I understand it, is the debate around sales calls versus selling in the DMs. Now, as you can tell by the start of this video, if you don't know me, you probably don't, because this channel is very new and you're probably going to see there's only 10 views on this video, right? So you're one of the lucky ones. So anyway, I'm going to break this down very quickly using a whiteboard, old school, because that's the way I like to teach, the way I like to talk, nice and slow and not scripted. And I'm going to show you very quickly the pros and cons of sales calls versus selling in DMs. Both work, okay? But there's a very clear difference. There's a very clear winner, unfortunately, and not many of you are going to want to admit it. But I can tell you from doing this, and if you're wondering, who the hell am I? Don't know this guy. Why should I trust you? Why should I even listen to what you have to say? We've scaled an online coaching company, PB Academy Limited. You can check it up, to over 250 plus active clients with a full team of coaches delivering the service and a sales system. Now, I absolutely love anything to do with systems and automation. I obsess over the metrics, I obsess over the numbers, the spreadsheets, that type of stuff really gets me going, right? So I know it's not the case for a lot of you, because a lot of you probably got into the world of business by accident, especially if you're a coach. It's probably because you love fitness, for example, you love the service, you love getting results. I totally understand it. But then when you peel back the onion, or look under the hood of the mechanics of a business, you know you need three things to make it work. Not just delivery, which is the thing you're selling, the results, but the system to get that going. If people don't know who you are, you don't get leads, right? Which is advertising, social media, content. We broke it down before. The next thing is converting those leads, these viewers, into clients, which is sales, okay? So you need a system for all of them. You can't just rely on being a great service provider, a great coach, a great agency. You need people, new people, to find out who you are. You need a way to get those leads, and you need a way to actually sell those clients, which is where the debate is all around sales calls. So specifically, should you do it in the DMs? Should you do it? And when I talk about DMs, I'm talking about not getting on calls, right? So I'm not talking about just doing it in the DMs on social media, which I think is horrendous, by the way, because we'll break it down right now. But I do like both. So before you think, oh, I'm not going to listen to this guy because I want to do it in DMs and I don't want to hear an opposing opinion, let me just tell you, from doing over 1,000 calls in the last 24 months, closing at 89%, which is stupidly high. I'm not proud of it, right? Because it's a high close rate. You shouldn't really have a close rate that high, but we needed to bring on the volume of clients, because we had coaches that needed feeding with clients. So that's why we had those metrics, right? So I can break that down another time. But the other experience I've got over the last 10 years, we've also built a physical location gym to over 500 members, different business entirely. So got experience in the online world and the physical world that actually exists, which just feels more real for some reason. But anyway, the online is way more profitable, so that's actually more exciting and it's more credible, I'd say, as a business. Let's break it down quickly, right? So pros and cons of both, yeah? Sales calls. What is the pro of that? When you get a sales system, absolutely nailed with this, right? So I'm massive on these systems, like I obsess over these systems. And one of the best sales assets I ever made, and I know it sounds fancy, but all it was a 15-minute video presentation, and it just walked people through the customer journey, the awareness journey, which if you don't know much about marketing, because you probably don't care, fair enough, there's a video on it. I will link it below, and you can understand that because you can apply it to any service business, and it's going to warm up your leads, educate your leads. So when you get on the call, it's much more of an order taking call than it is a salesy call trying to close someone. It's nothing like that, right? It's just actually providing a better customer journey, a better experience for that customer. So when they join the call, they're pre-sold on who you are, they know what you do, why it works, they want to work with you. It's called the Welcome Pack VSL, right? You can use that and implement it below. It takes a little bit of time to set up, but once you've done it and you've nailed it, it transforms the way sales calls go. So we got our call time, right, when it's done right, down to 15 minutes. Okay, so 15 minutes. That is, so the pro for me is on a call, you can get a deal done and closed, let's just say, for most people, 30 minutes max, okay? So 15 to 30 minute call, right, for most people. Now, this doesn't really change depending on the price that you sell at. I've closed deals in this bracket as well, working on another business, another project for a friend of mine in the accountancy world, where we were closing 4 to 5k packages at in this same setup because we had the Welcome Pack VSL. It transformed that business as well. So it can be done there. The other pro to this, right, is it's a better experience for the customer. Better experience for the customer. It's more of a consultation rather than it is a sales call when you've got the Welcome Pack VSL set up. So it is a better experience. If you actually get to speak to someone, there's no doubt that is a better experience. I'm not saying that you wouldn't use the same tactics that all the business gurus and the mentors are pushing right now, which is don't do sales call. One of the cons of this is obviously your time. So your time. Yeah, so calendar we'll put. Because it does require you, if you're a solopreneur or if you're in the early stages of growing your business, one of the hardest things that people find to delegate, and you'll know this even if you're an agency owner, the hardest thing to delegate is sales, because people see you as the face of the business. You're on all the content, you're on the videos, you're in the webinars, and they want to speak to you. Number one, you're going to get a much higher close rate because you're the face of the business. They trust you. So when they speak to you, your close rate is naturally going to be higher. So it's not something to boast about. So when I say 89% close rates, because I was doing the calls, right? So it was very easy for me. Everyone knew who I was. So yeah, they were pre-sold. As soon as they spoke to me, it was like deal done, basically. So not bragging about it. I'm not a sales wizard. We just had a very good system in place. So no like bro tactics on closing people. But anyway, your time is going to be the constraint. And let's say, great example of this, when we took the team away to Marbella, I was stuck doing sales calls. I still had to do sales calls to make new sales, to bring new money into the business, new clients. No one else in the team could do that part of the call. So that was something I really struggled to delegate, and your time is definitely a con on that part there, right? So that is definitely a con there. Now, one other pro I'm going to say is handle price. I'll just put price. I will put objections, right? So as much as I don't like to push the whole bro, salesy, closer, objection handling type thing, it is something that you do face. It is a real issue. And more often than not, in the B2C space where you are selling to consumers and they're not business owners, so they're not of this mindset of like investments, and they understand that you've got to take the risk to earn the reward. Most normal people, when you sell to consumers, they're not that way inclined. That's why they go for the salary option. That's why they like to take jobs, because it's safe and they don't see expenses in the same ways we do. So a lot of people do need to have their hand held when you're walking them through a sale. So it's not the case of you're being salesy and holding back your price until on the call, and then you reveal your price, and then you're trying to push them over the line and grab their credit card out of their hand. That's not the case. It's just most people come up with these basic objections like stalling tactics. I need to talk to my wife. I'm not sure if right now is the right time. It sounds great, but can we go ahead in next month? Like, these are basic objections that the bro tactic sales gurus and users online, they push a lot and they get lots of views because everyone sees it and they're like, wow, that guy speaks so well. I wish I could do that. I wish I could handle objection and make money like that. And that's what does well on Instagram and social media platforms. So there is an underlying truth behind it, because I've experienced that, where I've had to walk people through, reassure them, and you can't do that on DMs, right? You literally just can't. The amount of times we've gone through the same pillars, because I believe in pillars, not scripts. So when it comes down to sales, lots of people push scripts, and I think that makes you sound robotic. It makes you sound inhumane. It doesn't make you sound like you're having an authentic, genuine conversation with someone. The worst thing in the world is scripts. Now, you can learn scripts offline, and then you can try and remember as much as you can things you need to go through word for word when you're presenting certain things. Understand that completely. What I like to train people, especially when we were training our setters, so people that were setting up the sales calls, is to follow pillars. So there were certain things they need to cover. And an example of this would be in the fitness world. They had to talk to them about what work they had going on. They had to talk to them about the time they had available to train. They had to talk to them about their current nutrition plan and their beliefs. They had to talk to them about their reason why. So their goal, and then they strip it back to what their reason why was, and they go deep on understanding the real pain that's making them want to get that six-pack, for example. It's a lot deeper than people think. Those were the pillars we had to follow, and we follow a very similar structure on sales calls live, but to even set up the call, there was pillars we had to follow. So the reason I'm saying this on this part here is when you're getting down to this part here, on a sales call, it's all done in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and you can quickly move on to the close. Whereas when you're in a DM setting, you reveal the price and you reveal the pitch, and people can easily just ghost you, and they can think about it if they want to, or they can, if you are selling on DMs, literally on social media platforms, the worst space in the world, because these social media platforms are designed to just grab your attention and keep you hooked and keep you locked into that scroll. It's the perfect place to procrastinate. So imagine now someone is thinking about doing your program, they're thinking about buying into your agency or whatever it is, and they see the price and they're like, whoa, it takes me back a bit. And all of a sudden it's the decision of, do I buy? What can I do to buy myself some time? Swipe over and just start scrolling, and they're procrastinating. They're not even thinking about your offer anymore. They're just procrastinating. So that is definitely one of the cons. So I'm going to write that down there. You know, on a call, at least you get an opportunity to view and analyze their body language when you drop the price or drop the pitch or say something that they may not agree with. You can't see that over a conversation on text, so you can call them out on it. And this is what good conversations are all about, is you can get to someone's root problem, root cause, without them having their defenses up, their barriers up. So I find this to be a lot more productive. Okay, so another con to this would be can't handle objections. Yeah, so that's clear. So you can't handle objections, the things I've talked about there. Now, there are definitely pros, which is kind of the opposite to this. So you can delegate this easier. If you are already using the process of selling in the DMs and you're having success with it, or somewhat of a success with it, then you can delegate easier. Yeah, because you can just train someone on what you say. I mean, at this point, you can even train an AI agent. You can set up an AI agent to follow your pillars, your script of what you would go through in a conversation. And you can delegate that to AI. Or you can just get a sales rep, not even a sales rep, just someone that you can train to follow your script, follow your pillars. And I had a setter that was able to actually close in the DMs on some parts. He actually made some sales because he was following the pillars. He realized that the guy was pretty much pre-sold already. He'd watched the Welcome Pack VSL, that presentation I talked to you about. It just presents you as the in-demand authority in your niche, which is what we all want to be. Like, we all want to be that, like, viewed as a local celebrity where they are like fans of your work and they want to work with you, right? That's how we all should be portraying ourselves. So this is easy to delegate, and you can actually make sales if you've got that structure in place. Okay, so that does work. However, the caveat to that is, because it's so easy to delegate, it shows how basic it actually is, right? It's just not as productive, and there are pros to it, so I'm going to try and find some more pros, right? What are the other pros? Time freedom. So you get more time freedom, but this is short term, right? And the reason why this is short term is because if you get this system nailed with sales calls and you build a Welcome Pack VSL, it shortens your calls down and it increases your close rate because it pre-sells them on you. It gives them an opportunity to see all the proof, see all the work you've done, the results you've got, and they're pre-sold on you. So they don't really need like an in-depth sales call. They just need almost like an order taking confirmation call. So it makes things a lot better for them, better experience, a chance to ask any questions in a bit more depth, feel that good fit with you, that connection with you. So it is definitely better there, and you still can delegate that. Like sales reps and sales closers, they exist across the world. It's one of the biggest industries right now, and it's booming as well. It's growing. So that exists. Like sales teams exist. It's been around for years and years, decades, like probably hundreds of years. I don't know how far back sales teams goes, but probably a very long time. Even when you think about religion, they've got sales teams. They've got people knocking on doors. They've got people selling their beliefs, right? Don't speak. So, I mean, that can be viewed as a pro to you if you don't want to speak to people. Like if you don't want to get on calls with people, that potentially can be viewed as a definite benefit. But I can tell you for a fact, from doing both and having both options on the table, these will get you more clients. Sales calls will 100% get you more clients, especially when you build a bulletproof system around it, which includes that welcome pack VSL, which includes email and SMS automations, which warms people up because it sends them your content to consume your content. Now, let me just ask you this. You understand the importance of using social media to build rapport with your dream client, your target audience, right? Think of everyone you look up to. How do you know you even look up to them? Because you've never met them. Most people you look up to, you've never met. Think about superstars in sport, anything. You've never met these guys, but you look up to them, right? Why? Because you've consumed hours of their content, whether it's them speaking on TV, whether it's them having debates, whether it's them performing in sport. You've consumed hours of them and watching them and listening to them. And that's what you need to do for your leads, for your cold leads, for people that watch you. You need them to see hours of you. You need them to see more time from you. I've talked about the Google study before. Many people have talked about this, the 7-11-4 rule. Google produced a study of what is required to guarantee that a customer trusts you and they're ready to buy from you. And it's 7 hours of content over 11 different touch points in 4 different locations where they consume your content. That's what it's about. That's what you need to do. So if you can take control, and the way you take control is, number one, a sales call is another one of those touch points, and it's more time with you. But the other way is to YouTube videos is a great example. Short form content is going to take very long time. It's going to take a very long time to build up those minutes into hours, right? It takes a very long time, very hard to do. It was much easier 5-10 years ago when if you followed someone, you would see every single post. Now it's changed, right? The algorithms changed. Your followers don't see every single post you put up anymore. They don't see every single story you put up anymore. And they definitely don't watch all of it, even if they do pop up on if you do pop up on their feed. So how do you take control? You need to get them opted into your service where you've got their details, and you can email them and you can send them. This is a video talking about this specific problem I know you're suffering with. 15 minutes adds up. And the welcome pack VSL is just the cherry on top of that. It's one more presentation designed to take them all the way through that customer journey, so before they get on that sales call, they're ready to buy from you, which is what it's all about. And this is one step towards then removing yourself from sales. So you can either remove yourself completely from sales calls or selling in DMs, but depending on what part you're at in your business, if you're at the early stages where you're just trying to get more clients and you want to guarantee more sales, you need to, I would say you need sales calls. You really do. If you want to make this work, it's going to be a better experience for them. You're going to get more deals closed, 100%. Otherwise, you are going to lose some deals here. If you've got an overwhelming influx of leads, and leads is not your problem, right? You don't need to close every lead you've got coming in because you've got so much traffic. If you're in that luxury position, you can go for the selling DMs route, and you can not care as much about the ones that missed, about the ones that don't go ahead with it because they didn't get their hand held throughout the sale when you were asking them to, send the Stripe link, collect the money. So it depends on what position you're at. So I would say, just to finish, if you haven't got a lot of traffic and you haven't got a lot of leads, you need sales calls and you need a welcome pack VSL, and you can get the link below to actually access that straight away. If you've got loads of traffic and you don't need to close every deal, you can go for selling in DMs, but you still won't close as much as you could. If you want to collect as much cash as you possibly can, as many clients as you can, and deliver a great service, so please make sure when you do these tactics, you do deliver a great service and you actually, deliver on your promises. selling sales calls again. Build that system, and then if you've got so much leads and you're selling everything, delegate sales, build a sales team, or build a system with the Welcome Pack VSL that allows you to step away a lot from sales, and maybe you need 1 or 2 sales guys to go in there for you, and you can actually grow your business and build a valuable, scalable business that runs without you. That's the next step, okay? So it depends where you're at. Depends what point you're at, but the definite system I would put in for both of these, regardless of selling in DMs or selling on calls, is you need a Welcome Pack VSL that's going to warm up your leads, educate your leads, and it's going to turn viewers into trusted buyers that want your stuff because they trust you as the in-demand authority that you need to become. So I hope that makes sense. If you're trying to grow a service business, if this has been valuable at all, make sure you subscribe. I hope this helps. Thank you very much. And I hope this changes what you do going forward. So thank you, and I hope it ends the debate as well.